All right, Joe, the NFL now is discussing more rule changes after year. They keep changing things. Never enough. It's never good enough. They have to keep messing with this. Teams have to complain some more about stuff. Joe, here we go. Kickoffs again. Kickoffs are good enough. There aren't enough returns still. What the
Still
hell
not enough.
are they doing? They want to move the ball up now on a touchbacks. Too many people touchbacks. What they want to do, it's this is safer if we do this and get touchbacks. But now they're like, oh, there's not enough returns. We need returns still. But it's all messed up at what they want to do. Let's talk about returns quick first, Joe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. But with these returns, like, um, nothing's ever good enough for the NFL, even when they decide, hey, we had success last year, guys. Look at this. Look at the data. The data shows that we had an increase on the amount of kickoff return attempts, and everything's going great. It's going exactly how we wanted it to. Well, here's the problem, NFL. The fans don't like it. The fans don't even like your kickoff formations, how you do the kickoff anymore. And now they want to tweak it even more. The NFL Competition Committee co-chairman Rich McKay
Mm-hmm.
uh, said the league will look at moving both the spot of a touchback to the receiving team's 35-yard line and moving the kickoff line 5 yards 5 yards backwards. Um, and that's what's being reported. That's what we're hearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you out of your minds?
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing: is the NFL even admitted, like, hey, we had more kickoff attempts and or I should say, receiving attempts to move the ball, and everything was great. It was a safer way of doing the kickoff, and fans really enjoyed it. At least that's what they're telling us. No,
Mm-hmm.
fans were actually aggravated, frustrated because we're not getting the excitement like we used to. We're not
Yeah.
getting the traditional kickoff. Like, it's still in college football, by the way. They
Yeah.
still traditionally kick it off like normal, like we've always seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what leads to the excitement factor of, will he break it? Will he not break it? High speed, collision. Yes, that's part of it. That's part of football. This is a very physical and violent sport. And no matter how safe you try to make it, there's still going to be injuries that occur.
Mm-hmm.
And now with them trying to tweak this even further, you're why are we going to punish the team that's kicking the ball off and saying, "Hey, all right, you guys were so clever. You guys could still reach the end zone and get touchbacks and whatnot. All right, we're gonna move it back 5 yards. Now let's see if you can make it to the end zone." Are you kidding me? You're basically giving the offenses have all the advantage, and now you're giving them an even greater advantage on kickoffs
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah.
don't we just give them the ball in field goal range? Why don't we just do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's where it's kind of trending towards. What's going to happen? The defense has already got the handcuffs on them with penalties and what they can and cannot do
Mm-hmm.
against the offenses. Now
Right.
let's further handicap them.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, it's I said it last year too when they did this you have a landing zone you have to try and land it in now unless you do kick it to the end zone. So they're trying to get these guys to place it in this spot so there is a return, and they still said no. They're going to take it at the 30, and that was even changed 2 days prior to the NFL season, because last year they did agree on the 35-yard line, and the fact that they're ready to pitch it again, it needs 24 votes to go through.
Mhm.
And if you start a team here at and this is their idea, if you start that team on their offense on the 35-yard line, you don't want to do that. So you're forced to try and kick it into that, landing spot. But a lot of times with the returns, they get close to that anyway. So you're kind of handcuffed, like you said,
Right.
what you're going to do. And again, I think when you start changing the different rules, you mess with the game too much to where, why don't you just break it back down to brass tacks and what it was before, because it was just fine. Why did you mess with it?
Yeah.
And that leads us even now to the onside kicks. Now, Joe, onside kicks still
Right.
wasn't good enough. With this, my argument with this, this one too, Joe, is a team is down. You're down for reasons, because that whole, it's not even say like 50 minutes you were down in this game and you could not win, so why do we give you multiple opportunities here, or a different one, to have a high success rate to come back into this game when clearly throughout the whole game you could not? And you saw that even with the Super Bowl here with the Kansas City Chiefs. And maybe that's potentially why they want to make this change here, because even the Chiefs couldn't dig themselves out of a hole that large.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the other interesting thing is the fact that with the onside kicks now, the committee and the special teams coaches across the NFL are evaluating formations to
Yeah.
increase the likelihood of successful recoveries. So it's not just kind of we've already complained about how they're going to handle kickoffs going forward and how they're going to probably most likely further cripple the game, make it more beneficial for the offense. But then we get to the onsides kicks and they're trying to increase the likelihood of recovering the football. So I go back to Rich McKay again, and he
Yes.
said he also believes teams will again look at the March 30th, by the way, is when all of these conversations are going to be had. They're going to look at the rules. They're going to decide and vote on what they want to do, critique, change, whatever. But he believes the teams that will again look at 4th and 15 or 4th and 20-yard attempts, replacing the traditional onsides kick. But they, again, just like you mentioned earlier about the changing of kickoff, any rule change or changing it completely, they need 24 votes for approval for anything to go through. And now, if they, in fact, change the kickoff rule, tweak it, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of it, you're going to change the onside kicks to be more successful or more likely to happen. And then
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't stop there because now you're even deciding to maybe even completely get rid of the whole onside kick and replace it with your offense goes out on the field. If they convert a 4th and 15 or 4th and 20-yard attempt one time, you get
Mm-hmm.
one shot. If you get that first down, you keep the ball instead of just kicking it with onside. The NFL is ruining the tradition of this game. And
Right.
that's where it's headed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I understand these are just special teams, part of the league and the teams that have to do this every single week. They have to follow these ridiculous rules, and the NFL keeps talking about safety and, oh, it lessens the injuries and, oh, it's still exciting. No, it's not. Take a survey, NFL. Go ask the NFL fans themselves. Put a poll on your website and say, "Hey, are you in favor of or against the new kickoff uh, formation, the new kickoff, the new kickoff, play?"
Mm-hmm.
And then have a separate one and say, "Hey, are you in favor of or against doing onside kicks this way or that way?" I guarantee you, you're going to come back astonished because the NFL fans will speak and it won't be to your liking. It'll be absolutely against what you have changed already.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the 4th and 15, 4th and 20, again,
Crazy.
they're going high. Onside kick is high risk, but they want the higher, the easier reward. That's what it is, not the high
Mhm.
risk, high reward. They want to
Right.
be able to have the high reward right there in front of you with not that much of a risk. They don't want
Yeah.
the risk there. Like at 4th and 20, some teams even make that like easily nowadays, with,
Oh,
their
yeah.
offense and where they are. And if you're talking about bringing back kick returns, this eliminates a kick return in the end of the game too. So there is no return
Right.
and there is no high um you know uh you know a play where people are really excited about. That's the thing people like about kickoff returns, stuff like that. Onside kicks,
Yeah.
they're so rare, and so people are on their seat to see what happens because the bounce of the ball, where it goes, hits off a leg,
Mhm.
whatever happens. We got to even see in the Super Bowl where the Chiefs had a couple of players, one guy especially just drove right through the middle, which I'd never seen before on an onside kick before, where it almost worked.
Yep.
And it's creativity and that's excitement right there. And you want to take that away by just running another play that we see like over and over again.
all the
And then
time.
now if they don't get it, the other opposing team now doesn't get it at the 20. They don't get the 30. They get it at like the 40, 45. Like,
Yeah,
hello, they're already halfway through there. It's like, what's the point?
you're
Then you're
basically
just going to
already
bury
in field goal
yourselves
range.
even more.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's ridiculous.
again, people loved it. Like you said,
Yeah,
NFL is the biggest, league in the world.
yeah,
That there's a reason, because people liked what was out there before. They like the
right.
physicality. They like the
Yeah,
way the game's played. And
yeah.
when you're messing with it to try and include even more people after being the largest, at least, largest in the US, even I get that soccer, worldwide and things like
Mhm.
that are very large as well. But come on, you can't, kill your diehard fan base to include new people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right. And that's the other thing too is like, and that's just the kickoff part of it. And then there's also we haven't really dived into it, but the replay assist. They're going to
Mm,
actually bring
mm,
that up in the March 30th meetings
right.
as well. And
Mhm.
how much of it can they use? What plays are they going to use it for? Is it going to be involved in just any play or certain selection of plays, or maybe even only during the 2 minutes left in the game? Like we don't even know how that's going to work because we've noticed in this past year how they had replay assist, but where was it in critical games? Where was it where you might have gotten a holding call, but the rest never saw it? So it sounds like they're going to have those conversations, and they've already had like upwards to 2 hours of a conversation about this after the season was over with. Looks are going to readdress it in these March 30th, you know, annual meetings that they have. And I hope to God that they at least get this right because we've seen critical, certain specific times in the game where a call wasn't made or was made poorly, and the replay assist could have solved all that. Hopefully, they get this right and into 2025.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these two boxes.